everyone, great to be back here with you and a happy Friday. You all made it past Halloween. Congratulations. And all that extra candy. I had quite a bit to eat myself. We didn't quite have as many kids as we have normally showing up, but I'm here. I made it. And it's good to be with you for our Think Scripting class, folks. I've had a lot of chat requests over the past few weeks, actually, about returning to some of the basics. I know some of you are new, and as we step into some of the more advanced scripting, it does become quite confusing. So today, it's a little bit of a step back into some of the basics, but I'll just tell you this. I think that a lot of the great scripts that are out there really start off with the basics. You don't want to make them too complex, too complicated. We're right in line with that as we look at some of the condition wizard, some of the approaches the condition wizard has for us in mapping out price action, indicator action across a wide basket of stocks. And so, looking forward to going through that with you today. By the way, I am joined in the chat by my good friend and shall I say this, Scott, co-manager? I'm not sure, a co-manager, manager. He's a manager here. Great to have Scott on board. And yeah, any questions, comments you have in the chat, I'll keep an eye on those as well. But really appreciate Scott being here to assist. And many of you may remember Scott from, well, he was on the road quite a bit years ago and taught some technical classes as well as option classes. So it is great to have him on today. Welcome to all of you as well. And let's do this. Let's start off with some disclosure items just to get the show on the road, but really looking forward to it. All right. So we look at this here. Information here is for general information purposes only and should not be considered an individualized recommendation or endorsement of any particular security chart pattern investment strategy. Schwab does not recommend the use of technical analysis as a sole means of investment research. The paper money software application is for educational purposes only. Backtesting results presented are hypothetical, and there is no guarantee that the same strategy implemented today would produce similar results. Also, investing does involve risk, including the loss of principal. Now, past performance of any security strategy does not guarantee future results or success. And so, as we do like to do every single week, we go through this and just steps to scripting, think scripting specifically. Always important, right? Initially, what is the goal we're after? If we have that in place, then we might actually, reach an outcome that we're trying to reach, we're anticipating reaching, right? Once we've identified that goal, can think scripting meet that goal? The good thing about the condition wizard, again, for those of you just joining us, we're going to be looking at, more of the basics today and jumping back to that and just looking at maybe, 4 key ways to use the ThinkScript to really help us develop effective and efficient scripting or coding to do exactly what we're after, but while we're still learning more of the advanced coding, it will allow us to build those now before we get to that point. So it's really nice to have. But a quick note, we will outline the steps to the script. Then what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll apply ThinkScript tools specifically. We'll go through and we'll show you how that's done. We'll write the custom scripts. We'll use the Condition Wizard today to do that. We'll test them. Then we'll share those links at the end, or at least give you a good solid feel about how we created all of this in the first place, how we went through the process of it. So with that, let's go back over here and go to a familiar visual. That is the thinkorswim desktop. We're just here in our demo account here, the paper money. A couple of things I wanted to note is we're going to be looking at really scanning through, as I mentioned initially, and this is where a lot of the comments come in and actually topic requests through the chat that I've been getting. And that is how do we go through really kind of a basket of companies? Maybe it's within the S&P 500 or another area, can be very easily selected up here. How do we go through that process and find something that looks interesting to us? Maybe something to do with price action or indicators or a combination thereof. We're going to dive right into that. Before we do that, though, I just want to state this. The scan area, and specifically now, main tab, scan, subtab, the stock hacker is where we are. Once in the stock hacker, we can select what group we want to scan through. Today, I was looking at S&P 500 stocks and then just looking at, hey, what are the post-market movers within the S&P 500? These are great things you can do with the scan tab to really generate quick data information for you that can be, it can be actionable depending upon what you're looking to do with it. Okay. Another key point that we could do is we're looking at the S&P 500 and looking at specific areas. Like, say, for example, here is a grid, just a grid with the S&P 500 sectors within it right there. And this is all 11 sectors in the S&P 500 in the bottom right-hand corner. You'll note that some of these have, well, they've kind of gone flat around certain areas. That one's dipping a little bit below here. The consumer discretionaries have actually been quite strong, but at resistance still. Sometimes when there's an expectation of weak markets, the defensive areas become stronger, and they look sometimes they look like growth stocks. And we have a couple, the staples. We have healthcare. Notice over here we have a pullback. It's kind of like a longer term bull flag, isn't it? Follow me over here with healthcare. Similar. We're just barely starting to get a little bit of a bounce today in these. Is that the beginning of maybe a follow through? That's the question. But we can tie all of this information in the scan tab within these scripts that we're going to show you today. A quick note though on that, anytime you identify something big picture like this, folks, just scoot over here, go into that scan tab, real easy to do. And they just go like, because these are S&P 500 sector indices, go right over here and just say, okay, what were we looking at? So we were looking at industry, and then we did see, like, for example, healthcare right there. This is all of healthcare. Click on that. You've got them all right there. There's 62 companies within the S&P 500. Now we can run a script on top of this to give us additional information, because what are we saying? Well, we're saying the possibility in that healthcare. Let's go ahead and right click. For example, I just right clicked. I'm going to maximize the grid so we can actually see it. Is it time for a reversal here? Maybe along longer term support? Well, that is the question. But we could look at that and see what companies are bouncing. I don't think we quite got, well, we're not there yet. This is a sector and it's not tradable, but is there a close above the high of the low day? I'm not seeing it yet. It would have to get above that high, because that there is our low day. But we could see what companies are showing strength in this group and maybe are leading the broader sector index here. Does that make sense? Maybe they've already started to break out, because you will get laggards and leaders within any group as you go through and take a look at it. So with that in mind, we're going to build on this a little bit, because these are kind of actionable items, right? That was really much of the request. How can we use this stuff? I mean, not just get like a fancy script that might be more in depth and have a lot of code that we might not understand yet, but how can we use existing tools and then build some of the core scripts around it? Let's do it. We're actually going to go in the scan tab right now. And before we dive into that in more detail, welcome everybody who's just joining us right now. Throw any questions you have into the chat. I've got to pull this out here for you, because I did want to outline this a little bit just to get started here with what I had in mind. And let me know if you have any questions on this or any, just general thoughts. But I wanted to write down, I think, some of the key areas that we can look at when we're talking about identifying the goal itself. What might we be looking at? Well, over here, if we talk about this, I'm gonna write a couple first. The first thoughts that came to my mind as I went through this. Okay, so I'm looking at. We'll go ahead and just take the underline off, and we can bold that out. We're looking at price, and I can really make this a lot bigger. I thought I just did, but it didn't go. Let's just do this. Let's make it big so we can all see it on the screen. But when we look at price action, right, there's a lot we could do with price, but here is kind of a common approach that's used when we are looking for scripting or actionable ideas. We'll just star this and we'll say this. How about price crossing over an indicator? Okay. And when I say an indicator, there might be a number of different indicators, but what's something that we might have specifically glued behind the chart or next to the chart with it? Well, something like, for example, a moving average, right, would be an example of that for sure, using price. Let's jump into a simple script that could be very powerful and very helpful, particularly when identifying what you think might be a strong sector or a possible bounce in the market. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into For now, let's just go ahead and look at everything big picture. There's all the 500. We can look at a big picture approach, and I'll narrow it down really quickly here for us too. Once we're in the stock hacker, I'm going to go to the far right-hand side of the screen right there under add filter. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a study filter. So add filter study, it does throw out here the ADX, and it does that because the ADX is the top of the list in terms of indicators. Now we're going to adjust this to match something that we're after. I'm going to go down here and just going to click on custom right now. So I clicked on custom and that pulled it on my other monitor. So let me pull that up so you can all see it. Now we do have the ThinkScript editor, which we're going to be able to see some of the code here, but we're actually going to start off with the condition wizard initially. Okay, so there is the ADX crossover, and you can see it right behind the scenes right there. That ADX crossover, we're simply going to do this. We're going to delete it for now. We are going to be in the condition wizard. This is where we can write the scripts that we have been doing in past weeks, but we're going to start off with the condition wizard today. We're going to go over here and click on add condition. Okay, so what is our goal, our objective? Let's go back to it right now. The goal would be price crossing over an indicator such as a moving average. And in this case, let's just go single space. We'll go up here, single space. Oh, I lost my sizing. That's okay. Let's pull it back up. Single space, and I'll do something like this. We'll kind of put a mark here, and we'll say, let's say, for example, the 200 DMA, day moving average, or just whatever period is we're looking at. Price crossing above the 200-day moving average. Okay, so let's start off with that first. Up top, select condition. The action is price. Okay, it's price. It's not a study. We're going to tap into that in a moment. It is price, and it's the closing price. And by the way, the closing price, even when the market is open right now, folks, it's the closing price as we speak, whatever is trading at right now. So it's not necessarily the end of the day. We're just looking at closing prices as they stand every second along this moment as we're discussing this, right? Prices are at a closing price and they change. At the end of the day, we'll have a set closing price. So if you run this over the weekend, obviously it's going to be the closing price as of, well, Friday, today. Okay, here is our action over here. What do we want? Do we want it to be above? Let's say, for example, or greater than? This is really specific, or let's say equal to. What we were saying is crossing above, showing strength above an average of prices, stronger than maybe the underlying index itself, the sector index, so crosses above. Now, under the next condition, we're just going to go down to study, and there's a whole host of studies here, and this is what's really nice, is because when you come down through here, everything is mapped out, so that as you have this here, and as we just jump back and say, can ThinkScripting meet this goal? And our second bullet point, it can meet the goal as long as it's logical and makes sense. And here's a good number of ways that it can do it with all these different studies. Price crosses above a study if it's something that can be put on the chart. Many of these only might make sense when it's a study, an indicator, crossing above an indicator. That's the next point I want to get into. But for now, let's do this. Simple moving average. Okay, so all of these could be effective, helpful tools as we go through them. There's our length, the 200 right there. Okay, I'm going to tab through it, and what I'm going to do is just click Save for now. Now, if I go, was that simple or what? There's your code right there. You want to see it? It created it here for us. It's an interesting way to learn some of the details behind it, although it's not always the same when you go into the ThinkScript editor, but at least this is a way to get kind of the ball rolling a little bit. Let's go ahead and click OK here. Now, it's already in place, so we've already created that condition. Really powerful. I mean, how many, if we're looking at 503 companies in the S&P 500 right now, it does vary a little bit. There we are above 500, but to go through and to literally go click, click, click all the way through. Let's say, for example, the S&P 500, if we had that in here, it would take a long time to see something like that on the charts, right? So let's just put one up here so we can see these too when we get into it. And I've got a couple of quick ways for us to do this too, but there it is, the S&P 500. Let's go into that NVR, for example, and we'll link this guy up. Oh, let's do this. Instead of moving into that, we'll put this over here, and we'll just click on NVR, and it should pull that up for us right now. Okay, there's NVR. just so happened to be the top one on the list. I'm going to go down here. By the way, not a cheap stock, um, approaching 10,000. Let's put a 200-day moving average operating behind the scenes so we can kind of just check this out. So we put our show study in. There we go. Crossing above the 200-day moving average. Okay, now we haven't changed the time frame at all. We just said crossing above. What was it based on? The closing price today. So this could take a long time to look at a stock that was just closing above today. That one got very close, but more like a bounce off of that level, right? We're talking closing above. That means it went below it and then had to go back up above it. There are ways to look at the low. We could scan not for the close, but the low of the day, and we might have picked up on this one on AZL. But if we come back to our scan tab, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this code right here. Let's go ahead and click on scan. Those are the list of companies in the S&P 500. Rather a small basket, right? I mean, just 11 companies out of 500 that closed above today their 200-day moving average. Now, I've done this over here. I've put this action item column in. This is a great way to be able to click and kind of use the gadget window like we're using over here to directly connect to these stocks to a chart. And I've got them listed in red, which is what I use up here in my charts. And I'll show you what that is. In fact, if I just right click, customize, just so you can see it, it's right there. Send to one red. And that means it's going to be in alphabetical order. There you go. Whatever you want to send it to, it's there. Now, when I have this down, I want to detach this because I want this to be efficient to find this. But I'm going to go ahead and click detach. It's going to pull it onto another window. There it is. Comes up right here. And let's minimize that. Oh, let's maximize it first because I've got to scan it. They're the same stocks that just came up. Now notice where I'm putting it. Right in my left-hand window, left bar, right? The left-hand sidebar. And there are the companies. So I can see the symbols. This is going to be hard to see this information. I've got a lot of columns. But now if I go to my charts and I just jump back to that because I have detached it, it's right there. I can go through and look at all these. Now, CVX, you've probably seen this one before. You got to click on the one, though. There it is. Chevron, did it close above that 200? Yeah. Could that be actionable for some individuals? Let's just look at this. Possibility of a flag pattern here that did what? It kind of stopped right at longer-term resistance, which is right there, which is right through there. I mean, it held there, but a lot of times to get through a big resistance level, you need a powerful earnings. Well, there's your earnings right there. And it looks like the market has perceived that as a positive, getting above that level. So could there be a projection point up here for that move? You see what I'm saying? How actionable this can be with such a simple script, but it could have taken me several clicks to get down through here. And I've been, wow, I finally found one. Well, you've got all 11 of them right at your fingertips here. Just that quick. So very, very helpful. And, it's a simple script. And I found some of those just to be the easiest out there. Just sometimes they're the best for actionable things. They don't have too many criteria because what we want to do is we want something that can give us an idea, perhaps, of what's happening here. But what else did I tie into here? A trend change, trend up. How about a flag pattern? Okay, flag pattern, right? We had the flag in here. Well, possibility of a flag. It looks like could be a breakout right there. We're tying this into other information that we already know about, potentially know about, and many of you are learning technicals. We have a number of classes, to kind of help with that too. But it just gets us in the door, and then we say, wow, okay, with this, what does that mean? Right? Because these are kind of, potentially actionable. Okay, let's continue on with just a couple more. There you go. Okay, so support, 200-day moving average, a very common moving average. That's why I selected it. A lot of institutions have talked about, this is one of their main ones that they use, and maybe the 100 as well, but this is a little bit longer term. This is bouncing, and what do we have? Could this be interesting right around potentially earnings, after earnings, right after earnings, a bounce off the 200-day or clearing it? Possibility of a change in trend, CMG. Okay, there's your earnings. Seems like we gapped down but came right back up above. Will the trend continue? So some good information there. But what we can do is we can also expand on this very, very quickly. If I go back into my script now, and I wanted to do this, let's go back here and just add in some additional details. That's across above the 200 day. But I could also say something like, how about, you know, some of them may have gone in the past 5 days, for example, and there might still be opportunities out there for us to tap into companies that over the past 5 days, well, maybe they're bouncing around. They broke above it, and maybe they're just kind of resting near it, and the move hasn't even occurred yet, right? So what if we said over the past 5 days? We're adding to this now. So we want to expand kind of our base. It's easy for us to go through 11 stocks, and those could be very interesting. But what about today and any of the past days? 4, 3, 2, 1. Any of those days we broke above the 200-day moving average. Let's do this. Let's go back over here. I'm going to click on now the pencil or the pen to the right of the periodicity over here because we're on daily. Let's click on that, and we'll pull this up because it goes to my second monitor. I'm going to go down to edit, and you'll notice that over on the right-hand side, there's a scroll bar. You can scoot on down. There it is, within. So simple to do. You'd normally need code to do this, obviously. You got to tell the computer what you're after. But there's 5 days. If I click OK now, what do you think? Are we going to get more stocks or less? Well, there's a few more days in there, right? Although the markets have been weak, it might be interesting to know what did cross over, earlier. There were 12 there. We added 37. So just like we thought, there are going to be more that pop up in this group that we'll see here. One of the things, though, that you'll run into is that I'll go to the chart. So it can happen over the last 5 days. Let's just say this range over here, but we're just saying it crosses above over the last 5 days. This grouping is, it's good, but it could also mean this. We went above the 200 and now we're back below the 200. Is it true? Yeah. The script is true. The computer's the code is telling the computer or ThinkScript, the platform, to give us the right thing. It did go, let's say on day 3, it went above the 200-day moving average, but on the day 1, here we are today, like where we're at right now, we happen to be back below the 200-day moving average. And so that might not be as appealing to some traders out there. So what they might want to do is just add one more level to this, and that would be done over here. We'll pull it back up one more time. And what I could do is I could just add another condition, and real easy, so simple to do. Go down and just hit price again, closing price. And in this case, what are we going to say? Is greater than. So this means it has to be greater than still. So it could have gone up 5 days ago, but as of today, it still has to be above the 200, right? Because what we don't want to do is maybe see it break up above and then crash back down below. It's got to be holding it. We want to see it hold it, which I think it makes sense to a lot of traders, investors. So let's go back into the simple. There's your simple moving average. Let's go back in. It's same. Everything holds true here. It was the 200. And what we need to do is we can just leave it at 1 because we're just saying that it's still currently greater than the 200-day moving average. Click on save. Okay, now what do you think? Are we going to get more or are we going to get less? Just as we kind of process this a little bit. Well, they're probably not more, right? We should get less because some went above the 200. The 200 over here, they went above it. Prices went above a couple of days ago, but now they're back below it. We don't want that. We want the ones that are still holding above. So let's click on it right now. It should be more than 11, right? Or 12, but less than 37. There you go. About double, right? 22. So now a pretty big reduction, actually. So many of them hit up above them and they came back down. What is one of these? This is, if I click on this too, by the way, it will feed my chart. So I don't have to type in the symbol at least. For example, I could click on Waters, this water utility company. There you go. Oh boy, they had a big number right there. Waters did. Okay. So there is Waters, and go back to our scan. Click on anything, or as I mentioned to you, we can pull it off to the left. By the way, yeah, I kind of knew it was going to be a big day because I do have a percent change column there. Sorry, it was there, but I just wanted to see, is it above there? Sure. Um, let's see, what do we have that's not over here? Yeah, PYC, I don't see that. Paycheck software or Paycom software. There you go. It was yesterday. Notice we broke above, at least it could have been 3 days ago, but yesterday we broke above. But are we still above it today? The answer to that is, well, that's the answer. Okay, we're still above. All right, so let me turn to the questions before we go in any further. And I've got it, well, before I do that, I'm just going to say still above the 200 DMA. So those were the criteria that could be added right into that condition wizard. We're going to take it a step further here with price still. But let's take a look and see what's going on in the chat. All right. How many of you guys do use the condition wizard right now? Have you used it? We have to have a beginning point, right? To get it down. And this is a great way to actually tap into potential action items without knowing the depth of the code yet, right? Or, there's a lot you can do here. In fact, you're going to be kind of maybe blown away a little bit by what I'm going to show you next on the condition wizard and how effective it can be just using indicators with price, additional indicators. By the way, I did see in the chat, by the way, Scott's got us all caught up. Appreciate that, Scott, very much. Oh, can you share that grid with us in the chat? Thank you. I have to, yep, I got it. Okay, I got the initial one. You got it again. Perfect. Yeah. Quick note, though, there is a survey in the chat, folks. Just 2 questions. If you could fill that out. It happens to be that we do look at those very carefully. Scott goes through those as well as myself. And so love any, questions, comments you have that you'd like to make in there. But really just two key questions. But yeah, if there's something you like or whatever the case might be, love to have you fill that out. By the way, while we're at it, bottom right-hand corner of the screen, don't forget to subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of our Trader Talks. I believe now, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're still above 124,000 subscribers, which is great. We'd love to have you within that group. And if you like today's presentation, smash that like button. Okay, with that, the question, can you share that grid with us? Absolutely. Happy to. In fact, let's just jump back to that. And this grid, it's not a script itself, but it is just a grid right here. And what you can get with that, I'm going to go ahead and click over here, maximize it. You get all 11 sectors plus the S&P 500 down below. Great for sort of top-down analysis, seeing where strength in the markets can be, etc. These can be adjusted to. It does give you the percent on the column, and it's very difficult to read. Well, I haven't memorized these. I don't have to, Scott, and everybody, because look at that right below it. Well, industrial. So you get that label in there as well. So let's just go ahead and share this. I'll go down share and voila, there we go. I've got a 3-month and a 6-month. You can change those if you want, but here is the 3-month here to get you started, folks. And I will post that into the chat right now. And again, normally we say our scripts aren't guaranteed for timeliness or accuracy. I'll say it anyways, but this one is just simply a, these are just charts with the same, it's just a grid with different charts within them. But hey, I said it anyhow. Okay, let's go ahead and jump back to it. Let's go to our scan tab. So we got that down. But what other things, now that we're thinking about it, folks, what else could we, kind of think with price action? What else might we want to see as we're talking about price over here with an indicator? I think that's a very common one. It's could be very helpful too and timely. And by the way, really simple too. If you ever wanted to change this to a 100-day moving average, well, you know where to do it, right? Right over here in our drop down. I'll pull it back up again. Once you've created that, and if you need to go back and review this again, this webcast goes through a process of being recorded. So we should have that ready for you sometime after we're done today. But if you come down here, you can just change that length. Remember, that's where we put the 200. So yeah. All right. So quick note on that. But, as you think about it, there is another area with price that can be helpful. And that is, how about price? Oh, and I see a question from John. I'll get to that in just a second, John. Price breaking above I'm going to put below as well. Below, support or resistance. How about on the chart itself? Price just breaking above its own level. I'll put a colon here because that's kind of what we're after. Breaking above below, support or resistance. Can we do that? As we come over here, is it possible? One of the great things you can do with this when you say, can ThinkScripting meet this goal? Is there a way to do it with an indicator? Do we have an indicator there? Indicator that can help us in this regard. Is there one? Well, it turns out, check, there is an indicator that can help us understand if a stock's breaking above, let's say it's a 20-day new high. Maybe it hit a high, consolidated, bam, we just broke up above it again. We can do that as well. So let's do this. By the way, before I hit that, let's see, Scott's got the question. Thank you, Scott. Perfect. Let's keep it rolling then, and let's go into our next indicator, okay? And script basically is what it is. So what we can do is I am going to just detach this now in case we want to go back to it later, okay? For now, but let's jump over here. Since I've got that detached, I'm gonna go ahead and clear this off and start new. In fact, let's go into add filter. Again, stock hackers, where we're at in the scan tab. Gotta be there. Let's go down below study under custom. Here it is right there. We're gonna clear it off first, right? So let's clear it off. Now we're looking in this case for prices, whatever the pattern might be. And by the way, folks, there's going to be a variety of patterns we'll see. But one of them that could be very interesting is maybe a break above something like that. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be, right, the 200-day moving average. As a matter of fact, if the stock's already been trending up, there's a very good chance the 200-day moving average is well below prices. So we would miss this completely. Where it becomes interesting is if we're breaking above what we're trying to define right now, which is a break above a 20-day new high, 30, 40, 50, whatever we want to say. It's breaking above a high. Can we do it? We can do it with the condition wizard just by using an indicator where we don't have to worry as much about the code while we're still learning it, many of us, myself included, right? Let's go down here. Let's click on add condition since we've cleared that one off. And we're going to do this. We're going to say, price. First of all, it's still a price. So prices, closing prices, fine, perfect, are going to be crossing above a study. Now, this is where the indicator comes in. What study is it going to be? If we scroll on down, there's a few of these under, here's a little hint. It's going to be under price. It's called a price channel. That's why I said if you go down through here, there's going to be amazing things you can actually find out if you learn about what these do, but you can find out what's going on. My gosh, it's already got a default there at the 20. I was just thinking about it. Maybe that's why it was in the back of my mind, but you got a lower channel and an upper channel. Now, what the heck is the price channel? What is it doing? Before I do that, I'm just going to click save for now. So it's here, okay? I'm going to click OK. So I've saved my progress. That's a lot better. We can adjust it. There's still a little bit more I want to do. But what the heck is a price channel? So let's go back over here because I want to highlight this, get this in here. And there you are. So we're going to do this. We're going to say use the price channel indicator as an example. Could be something that we can do. Okay. For a breakout, be very specific. So we're keeping a track. We're keeping track of exactly it is, what we're intending to do. This is really kind of helpful to just kind of journal it out a little bit so that you can always go back and change it. But then, you say, why am I getting this result? Go back and look exactly, see what you're looking for to solve issues too, to solve problems. I've done that a few times. Very, very helpful. Write it down as you're going through the process. All right. So what I want to do is learn a little bit more about that price channel. I'm going to go to the charts up top, and I'm going to go up top here, and I'm going to go ahead and just add that in and see what the heck is going on. Click on it, because I think many of us, definitely myself, are visual learners, and you want to see it first before you start doing code on it to see what's happening. And this is a great way to verify if the script works as well. Remember, that's one of the steps we've got. Here's our price channel right there. I've added it in. I'm going to click on the gear, and I'm just going to highlight this. I don't want the lower band right now. I don't want any confusion, although we could look at a break below resistance. I want the upper band in green. Let's get it a little thicker so we can all see it. It's going to be a 20 period length with no displacements. It's just looking for a high. What was the last 20-day high? Boom and boom. There it is. Do you see what's happening here? It's looking over 20 bars back, and it's saying right here, do you see how this lines up? Look what it's doing. It's setting up here for us, just like we could expect to see with a potential resistance level, right? If prices break up above here, let us be notified. Put that in our stock hacker so we can see it quickly. Look over here. This happened to be resistance level. Folks, what do we know about resistance? Sometimes there's more than one point. And we can get an extended view of resistance right on this chart here. This resistance, I mean, this has been here for a while. In other words, it's a very long or longer term. I mean, this is back in July. It broke, like 2 months later, right over here, and took off. But this could find it just like that with the right type of scripting. We broke above right there. As you can see, we finally cleared it. Would we have been notified? We would have. We would have been notified on something like that. It just so happened to be this 20 period range, but also matched a prior range of resistance, which is not uncommon at all to have double, triple, quadruple tops before you finally break out. So now you get a sense of what's going on. I will say this, though. It's also really important to note that we are going to get some stocks that come up in our scan that it's going to look like this. Because is that a 20-day new high? It is. How about that? It is. It is. It is. We're still trending higher. It keeps climbing because it's running up. And you can see right there, there's another example of it, and another example right there. So we can already kind of have our expectations set that they're not all going to be breakouts, but it's a very cool and clever way to ensure that we can try to maybe find some that meet the criteria. We just have to let ourselves, just be aware that it's not going to be everything that's going to match. It's going to also show stocks that are trending sharply. So back to our stock hacker, and let's finish this up. Because right now you can see it's not going to work. It's a lower band. And we're just saying close crosses above the lower band. That's a very weak position. We've got to change this to what we were just looking at on the chart so that everything is lined up. We've got to have what we're thinking lining up with what we're telling the computer to do, right? And the best way, I think, for the beginners is just to get started on the condition wizard. Very helpful. I think many of you are very advanced, though, but hopefully this opens your mind to some areas as well. Click on Edit. We'll go right over here. Here is the plot. This is everything. It's so important. You just got to make sure you're selecting the upper band of the 20. Otherwise, it's totally the opposite, right? How about over the last one bar? Do you want to see what's breaking out today? Let's try that first across the entire S&P 500. We've got some earnings out there, which could certainly influence what we're going to see. But then I also might want to back that off a little bit too. So let's do this. Let's click Save. And that's it. All of that in that little teeny code right there. Very condensed, very nice. I'm going to click on, just running the S&P up top here. Let's scan it and see what we've got. 10 companies, even less than the other one. So these companies are breaking above that 20 range. And let's look at some of these right now. In fact, I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. I'm going to actually detach. I'm going to have a few windows by the time I'm done. But that's fine. Let's scan it. And there they are. I'm doing that so I can quickly go through these, and let's just see what we've got. Because I want to put this in as a left pane over here, right? To take a look at. There's CVX. That matches a couple criteria, doesn't it? For the 20 period. There are our charts right there. I'll scoot this in. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, let's do this instead. I'm sorry. I'm going to move this over here, pushing it over here a little bit, and I'll span out so you can really kind of see it a little bit better. And then I can pull it back up, and there it is. So I've detached that chart, the chart itself. I've scrunched it up a little bit, and I put that action window in there that sends 1 over to 1 just to make it even more effective here for us. So let's go through Amazon. Did it take it out? It did. Notice it's trending higher. But also, fascinating, it caught another very interesting area right around, oh, that's a big round number, isn't it? 200. There we are right there, 200. So that might have spotted something after earnings. There was CVX. Okay. See the line right there? That represented right there 20 bars back and we broke above it. Is that not breaking above resistance? We'll see how it closes. Looks like it may close with 20 minutes left right there, perhaps. But that's also, like we said, resistance that extends back even further. Ooh, even a little gap right there. Gap resistance, perhaps. Possibility of a flag follow through. MCK. There you go. You see it breaking resistance? Prior high, boom. A couple more and we can move on here. But there you go. Okay, this one broke resistance, but again, historical resistance. So a lot that can be gathered in here. Tons. CAH. Earnings, breakout. Look at the extent of this. Quick note on CAH. What is CAH? Cardinal, keyword there. What did we see about health? And what did we see about the possibility of maybe some of these flagging, like the sector, but maybe beginning to break higher? There you go. Cardinal health breaking up. So if I went over here, and if I was really just saying, you know what, I want to intersect with, where was it? There's our industry, and there is our healthcare and all healthcare. If I just screen in healthcare, you think we're going to get one? I do. I think we're going to get Cardinal Health at least. CAH. Scan. Ooh, we got more. There's more health. What? I didn't know water's in healthcare. That might be an addition. I thought that was a water. That's more like a utilities company, but hey, it's at 20%, so we'll let it sit in here. But Insight, that is a not 20. It's close to it, but there's Insight. Now that is another one I didn't see. But Insight is also a healthcare, and that was where we started off with initially. And look at that. You actually got a break earlier. Think about leaders versus laggards. Could strength in some of these companies that are in the S&P 500 help to lift that script that we shared over here, right there, the healthcare? Oh, we'll bump it up again. Let's bump it up. There we go. Could it help to get this, which is a defensive stock, and sometimes when the markets get weaker, there's a lot of volatility. Could it get these starting to move higher? Well, we shall see. But interesting, you could look at the index, sector index. You could look at the individual stocks and see what's going on. You could look into more of those stocks. You could run a scan like this every day and just see what's breaking out in the healthcare sector or across the S&P 500. Folks, it does it just like that. It's so quick. I mean, where we've come from relative to where we're at right now. I mean, I remember doing this. Honestly, I first started doing a little bit of screening and some coding back in the 90s on a different software platform altogether. And I mean, that was so slow and painful compared to this. And even before then, I mean, how do you go through and you find breakouts? I mean, it just takes so much time. But now you've got the scripts and you've got them right at your fingertips. Scripts at your fingertips on these that you're looking for, that match specific criteria. So, having said that, let's go back and just complete this portion right over here. So we've got that down. What else did we try to do with it? Well, we could look over the past 5 days. In fact, let's put that in. I'm just do a quick copy and paste. Boom, right there. Past 5 days. I'm going to go ahead and make that improvement. We'll leave it there. But just quickly to show you how we do that again, click here, pull it up, go to edit, scoot on down. Those in the past 5 days. Then we would see more stocks coming up, but there could be those there. And there you go. 5 days, hit tab through, save, and you guys got it. So today specifically, we did look at those breakouts of the breakout. We also looked at an indicator crossing over the moving average. Now, by the same process, we can also do indicators too. We can do more of that next week and dive into more depth. Believe it or not, there are some really in-depth, very cool ways to use an indicator with another indicator that are totally opposite of each other. So it's fascinating how that can work. And so I want to dive in a little bit more of that. But next week, we're going to actually punch in some of that code and get that to line up with what we want. And then so you have at least that, that knowledge to do so. That could be helpful as well for sure. So with that, looking for an intraday price break, real quick, Michael, can be done right over here. This is nice. Good question to finish that off. Right over there. See the intraday periodicities? Click right there. And now you can set this over different time frames. So easy, so fast. Folks, be sure to fill out that survey if you found this effective. That was posted just a little bit earlier. Again, subscribe to our webcast and hit that like button. Thank you, Wiley and others, for doing that. Yeah, if you found it useful and effective, it will keep this kind of content coming up more frequently for you, folks. It's been really fun being with you today. I hope you really enjoy, what's available here for you on the thinkorswim platform. Just some great stuff that can be utilized. Look forward to future discussions with you. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and we're right there at the weekend. Take care, everybody.